Hello and welcome back to the LTP channel, Living Table Productions, the Learn to Paint, what is this called? Learn to Paint show with Mike. As I say, I am Mike, I am learning to paint, and you're along for the ride. So, in one of our previous videos, I sketched out my Striders, my Strider Scouts. Now we're going to start putting on the first layers of coloring of a base coat. So I'm using this Hauser medium green, whatever that means. And because, as with my other models, we're going to start on the innermost portions, most difficult to get to, which in this case happens to be this guy's cloak. And I think on most of these it's going to end up being that same cloak. So that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to take some of my matte medium, mix it with some of my green. Uh-oh. Apparently I got a little bit of my flesh color on there. Well, doesn't look too bad. I'm going to put some water in there. And I think probably my wet palette here is just getting a little too crowded. Alright, so we're going to take this brush. It's just kind of a big ugly brush because I'm just putting a thin coat of this green in here. I don't know. Well, that'll be the right color green. I'm a little bit worried that this green is a little bit too bright, but we'll see. It's about the right tone. You can tell how much I've studied color theory. But it's kind of a sagey green. Apparently it's a Hauser green, according to the distributor. Alright, and then we'll get in this little area underneath his armpit. And down here, his legs. I was considering doing his little sash red, because that is kind of a continual theme of my army. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're just going to leave these parts green. Really thin coat. Yeah, in this light you can barely even tell I put some on. That's alright. Now next here, and I think I'm going to trade paintbrushes. This one's a little bit large. So I'm going to swap to this. Apparently it's a 3. Get it going here, and here's our next friend, and his loincloth is quite a bit larger. But I think I am still going to do that red. Because, you know, we've done a red belt on our bolt thrower, and red accents on my Warcasters here. So I think I want the red for his loincloth. Let's give it a little bit of a counterpoint color. Here we are. Going under here now. Looks like this is all bare skin here, which I find to be interesting because the base colors And the base, you know, the standard studio color scheme, they've got kind of a dark purpley bluish color on their skin, and they're winter elves, I guess you could call them. They're based up in the frozen tundra of the north. And it strikes me as odd that these guys would run around without shirts on. If I was running around in the frozen north, I would be wearing more than just a cloak. Okay, that's the most difficult parts to get to on this guy too, is this cloak there. So I think I'll probably just go through all of these and hit up the cloak. So of course, on the outside here, the back side, it's really easy to get color on there. But since I've already got my brush loaded and we're already doing a layer of this color, and ultimately painting this down here isn't really going to interfere with any of the rest of his back, any of these feathers or anything like that. I am using quite a thin mix. Get it in there under his armpit. I did get a little bit on this armor. Use a drier brush to kind of soak that up and take it off, so I don't have to paint over it later. Alright. On to the next. Alright, load up my brush. And bring this up. Now this guy's running. His cape's all flapping out here. I think he's got a bit of his loincloth flowing back behind him. Right under here. So I'm going to try and take up some of that paint, because I'm eventually going to want to paint that red. There we go. I'm going to get under his armpit. There we go. I'm going to leave that loincloth on this side. Make sure you don't paint on it. There we go. I'm going to do these guys leg wraps and arm wraps, just like my acolyths, mostly just kind of a brown color. Brown that's highlighted brown. Let's see if we can get that better in focus. Yeah, so mostly a brown. And then we'll do their armor bits, just like you can see Veil here. Kind of a coppery color with a dark reddish brown color. Alright. In the recesses. Reddish brown color in the recesses. Get some more paint mixed up here. Here's our lovely musician. And put some paint on his cloak. There we go. On the inside there. And we'll get it on the top here. Now while I'm thinking about it, my hands can be kind of shaky sometimes, especially if I'm stressed or low on blood sugar. And so if I've got my two hands out here, get this guy back on there. Didn't mean to shake him off. If I got my two hands out here, one hand's kind of shaking just a little bit, the other's kind of shaking just a little bit, they can be mismatched, and when I start doing detail work, that can be quite difficult to work with. We're going to leave this loincloth here not painted green because it will be painted red. Anyway, I bring up the hand shaking because I found a way to work around that, in that I'll be holding my guy here, and I'll actually touch my pinky finger, my two other fingers, to that hand, and that way my two hands are reinforcing one another, and first off, that decreases the amount of total shakiness, and second off, if my hands do shake, they'll kind of shake in tandem. And I found that I get better results. I'm less frustrated when I do that. I don't want to curse my hands, throw them off, cut them off. Alright, now we've got our next strider. We've only got 3 more left. It was a fairly small unit, just a 5 grunts, a leader, and then the unit attachment. This guy definitely got a thicker sketching wash, but no matter. Put our nice thin green on there. That's gonna make a awful noise. I'll put it down. Alright, here we are into the armpit. Make sure we don't get any on his loincloth there. It's weird, it's like these elves don't believe in pants or shoes. Now it kind of makes sense for these striders. They've got these long double jointed legs like we looked at last video. So it's probably difficult to go to the local Walmart and get footwear that fits. So I can understand wrapping your feet up. And I imagine they've probably just got thick, thick, spiny. Uh-oh. Just want you to see here, I broke off this guy's arm when I was trying to get him secured to my paint bottle. So, just a moment here. I'm going to take my super glue and go dab on there. And tiny little dab on there. And now I'll put this on there. I'm just going to hold it this time. I'm not going to use the zip kicker or the super glue hardener, whatever brand you're using, whether it's zip kicker or not, because I'm concerned that if I use the zip kicker, not only will it set the glue, but it'll also put a layer of foreign chemical all over the surface. And I'm concerned that the paint, the next layer of paint, won't like that layer of zip kicker chemical. So I'm going to hold this for a moment. Be right back. Okay, we're back, and I have finished gluing on that elbow. And we're ready to get on with our painting. I'm going to start in his armpit, and because that's going to be the most difficult portion to reach. And that armpit. We've got the same effect happening, where just like on the other one in this same pose, I got some on his armored leg there. And now, oh, I got some on his bow there. Oh my goodness. I'm a high quality modeler. Alright. So we're going to get all of the cloak here with the base coat. Oop, in the armpit. And a little bit back there. Alright, and that is the second to last. We've got one more. Stick him to the top of the gun. And there we are. In the armpit. And bring it out to the end. Try to not get any on his loincloth. Alright. Hit up the back side. Cover all the surface. There we go. Get all the tattered folds of his cloak. Now I'm thinking about it. The kind of color I'm going for is similar to the cloaks that the elves gave the Fellowship. I wonder if subconsciously I was even thinking that when I decided to go with this green color. Well, no, because ultimately I've been trying to match the color here, and that is not quite the right color, is it? This one's definitely brighter. Might have to get a forest green or something to get in there, change it. Alright, well, that's it for our starting base color on our Striders. If you like this video, please like it. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, this is my clever closing comment. Goodbye. Hello and welcome back to LTP, Learn to Paint with Mike. I am Mike, I am learning to paint, and you're along for the ride. We're going to continue with our base coloring of our Strider Rangers. My colors have dried enough here that I'm just going to apply another layer of that same green. Now it appears that that green darkened somewhat as it dried. So I'm going to continue with this color. Not quite as wet. A paint mix. So that I get a little bit more coverage on the surface of the models. Alright. Here we are, just going to cover every surface here. Oh. Hello, son.
Dad, we can't go to sleep, and I just wanted to say hi.
Okay, hello.
That's all. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Dad.
Goodbye.
Hi.
Those are my children.
Hi.
And there we have another layer on the cloak. And I'm going to go see to my children. It is apparent that they need some attention. Thanks for watching.